Hey folks, all doing? Hero of None here with your Mundus Minute on November 20th, 2020. ESO news, lecture merchant, and golden merchant stuff, all in a few minutes. So first up in the news. Earlier this week, Matt Fuhr, ZOS's studio director, came out and discussed ESO on Macs. So going forward, if you haven't heard this already, Apple is going to go over to a new architecture called the ARM CPU, which is basically going to make it a little bit more difficult to program for both Windows-based PCs and Apple-based PCs. So going forward, ESO is not going to be supporting Macs. You can still do emulation, and you can still use things like Stadia to go in and get to your ESO accounts, but going forward, it's going to be a little bit too much to support both platforms. So folks, if you're looking at getting a new PC and you're looking at maybe getting a Mac and playing ESO on it, maybe think again. Emulation will work on a Mac, but it's also going to have a performance hit at the same time. Also coming up in the next few weeks here, on December 3rd at 10 a.m. Eastern until December 15th, 10 a.m. Eastern, is the Undaunted event. During this event, you're going to get Undaunted reward boxes as well as glorious Undaunted reward boxes after your first veteran boss on a hard mode. That's going to give you Opal style weapons and a chance at the Opal style helmets for those bosses. During this time, you can also defeat dungeon bosses, the very last final boss of the dungeon, and get event tickets, 3. And they're going to release the next berry for the Crimson Indrik. So that's going to be the 3rd one. 4th one, it'll be coming up probably by the end of the year. All right, so that is the news. Let's take a look at the Luxury Merchant and the Golden Merchant for this week. So, flowers, mushrooms, more mushrooms, mushrooms, and a bit more flowers. All these are available at the Luxury Merchant up in Cold Harbor. And then the Gold Merchant. Golden Merchant, I'd say. Rigor Marauder's Haste for 150. When you cast a damage shield, increase your movement speed by 20% for 9 seconds. Don't see a whole lot of people using this. However, this is an interesting ring in the fact that the speed here is not capped by like Major Expedition. It can actually be combined with Major Expedition. So I think it's kind of interesting. It's a little weird though. I don't really see a lot of people using this. If you really wanted to get this, you could probably just get the purple version and save yourself the 150 gold for it. Also 150, Order of Denga. Health, healing taken, and gain minor vitality at all times, increasing your healing received by 8%. I don't see a whole lot of folks using this, but it does have healing taken and is minor vitality. Might be useful for some PvP builds. Personally, I don't really know any builds that use this. For 250k, Ebon Ring. Now, this comes out of Crypto Hearts. It's a pretty easy dungeon to run, but if you ever want to do any type of tanking in ESO, this is a staple. I do recommend it. Anyone who does not already have this, pick it up. Again, though, you can probably just run Crypto Hearts and get this as well. And then Moonhunter Ring. Spell damage, spell critical, and when your alchemical poisons fires, increase your spell damage by 547 for 8 seconds. Probably more of a yeah, I'd probably say it'd be more of a PvP ring. Keep in mind, alchemical poisons have about a 10-second cooldown, so you're going to be looking at least a 2-second downtime, assuming that the poisons don't go off immediately. In addition to that, you'd have to have poisons on a Magicka build, which don't always go the best, but some people do that. Interesting for burst, I'd probably say PvP more than PvE, simply because the uptime and downtime with it. For 100k, you can get the Engine Guardian guys, which is actually a pretty easy dungeon to run, but a lot of folks use this in PvP and PvE, especially for tanking and resource generation. So maybe you want to pick this up if you only do PvP. And then Earthgore's helmet. If you don't have the DLC, this is one that you probably want to get, especially any type of tanking or healing that you do. Definitely, even if you're doing DPS, I'm going to recommend you pick up Earthgore because it is very useful. All right, folks, that's the Mundus Minute. See you all in Tamriel.